Allow me to reintroduce myself.
Welcome to Game Time with Hubb, your all-access pass to the hottest stories in football, basketball, boxing, and wrestling. Whether it's game-winning touchdowns, buzzer beaters, knockout punches, or jaw-dropping suplexes, we've got it all covered. Here's your host, Hubb.
What's up? You're locked into Game Time with Hubb. All right, quick season check-in. Week 13 started shaky for your boy. Them Turkey Day picks had me at 0-3, but we bounced back, finished the week at 11-5, and that brings our season total to 135, 58-1. Now I'm rolling into week 14, and we already got punched in the mouth a little bit on Thursday Night Football. The Lions beat the Cowboys 44-30, and since I roll with Dallas, that's our first L of the week. Now let's hit some quick takeaways from Thursday's game. Detroit stars showed up when the season demanded it. All week it looked like Amon-Ra St. Brown might not play. Then he's out there setting the tone, 6 catches for 92 yards. Clutch grabs at the end of both halves, including a 37-yarder that helped set up Jahmyr Gibbs' third rushing touchdown. And Gibbs, man, look, he didn't just score, he dominated the whole script with 3 rushing touchdowns, 7 catches, 77 yards. David Montgomery added a 35-yard TD and some tough running, and Jameson Williams delivered big plays. That win swings Detroit's playoff odds to 53% compared to 18% if they had lost. On the Dallas side, the playoff math got ugly. Their odds dropped down to 8%. A win would have pushed them up to 35%. And the turnovers, missed opportunities, crushed the momentum there. Jake Ferguson fumbled again. And even though Brandon Aubrey was amazing, you can't kick your way to a victory when the other team is scoring in chunks. And one CeeDee Lamb left with a concussion after 6 catches for 121 yards. It was Ryan Flournoy, not Pickens, who stepped up with the breakout 9 catches for 155 yards. So, all right, that was Thursday. We got our L. Now let's head into Sunday and Monday slate for Week 14, the rebound off this L that we took on Thursday night. We're starting in Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta for the Seattle Seahawks at 9-3 in town to take on the Atlanta Falcons at 4-8. Seattle comes into this one looking like a fully formed contender, tough, balanced, and built for December football. They're leading the league in point differential at plus 133 and have won 6 of their last 7. With the only stumble, a 2-point loss to the NFC West leading Rams. This is a team that's playing with real momentum and a clear identity. But the pressure point this week is obvious. Sam Darnold's trying to rebound from his roughest outing of the season, a total QBR of 18.3. Minnesota blitzed him on 60% of his dropbacks, and the Seattle gave up only 11 sacks over the first 11 games. Darnold got dropped 4 times last week. Now he gets another stress test against an Atlanta's defense, the second in the NFL in blitz rate under Jeff Ulbrich. On the other side, Kirk Cousins has kept the operation steady since taking over from Michael Penix Jr., but it's been a shorter, safer passing approach. Against the Jets, he went 20 of 24 on passes under 10 yards for 215 yards and a touchdown. The concern is whether Atlanta can create explosive plays when it matters most, because Cousins owns the lowest downfield completion percentage among qualified QBs at 35.7%, and Seattle's allowing the league low 49.4 passer rating on deep throws. And a huge loss for Atlanta is Drake London. He'll miss his 3rd straight game with a knee injury, but before that, he had 3 straight 100-yard games. A 4th would tie the longest such streak in the league this season. I believe that's held by Jackson Smith Njigba. The key factors here are, number one, can Seattle adjust protection and rhythm to beat Atlanta's heavy blitz looks? Number 2, can Cousins create explosive plays against a defense that erases the deep ball? And number 3, without Drake London, does Atlanta have enough juice to keep pace? Atlanta has been scoring between 23 and 27 points in every single game since early November, but the defense has slipped hard. In their last 2 home games, they've given up 64 points combined to Carolina and Miami. Now they got to go face the best road team in the league. My takeaway, Seattle identity travels, defense, balance, discipline. My pick here, Seahawks. Next, we head to M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore for a classic AFC North collision. The Pittsburgh Steelers at 6-6, taking on the 6-6 Baltimore Ravens. Even at 500, this rivalry always feels like a knife fight. Pittsburgh is trying to prove the run defense issues that haunted them aren't permanent, but the season-long numbers still raise eyebrows. The Steelers are 17th in run defense, allowing 117.7 rushing yards per game, and now they're staring at Baltimore team that ranks 5th in rushing yards at 136.8 per game. Baltimore's bigger storyline is ball security. After coughing it up 5 times last week, the Ravens have reportedly cranked up the ball security drills, and that matters because Pittsburgh's defense is sitting second in the NFL with 22 takeaways. History is loud here. Under John Harbaugh, the Ravens are just 5-13 when they commit multiple turnovers against Pittsburgh. Offensively, Baltimore has quietly flipped the entire season. They started 1-5 while allowing 32.3 points per game through week 6. Since then, they're 5-1, giving up only 16.5 points per game, the best mark in the league since week 7. That's a real identity shift. My key factors in this one is, number 1, Baltimore's run game versus a Pittsburgh front that can be pushed around. Number 2, turnover margin, because this rivalry punishes mistakes. And number 3, whether the Ravens defense surge stays locked in at home. Takeaway, the Steelers feel wobbly, the Ravens feel urgent. My pick here, Baltimore Ravens. Up next, we're in Huntington Bank Field in Cleveland for the Tennessee Titans at 1-11, taking on the Cleveland Browns at 3-9. The records say ugly, but the storylines are cool. This is the first NFL meeting between rookies Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, and while both have had bumpy starts, the bigger headline is the monster wearing a Browns jersey. Myles Garrett is at 19 sacks, and he's 4 away from breaking the single-season record at 22.5. And the matchup lines up perfectly for a historic push. The Titans have allowed a league-leading 48 sacks, and Cam Ward has taken the most in the league. That's a pressure collision waiting to happen. Cleveland's offense doesn't need to be pretty. It just needs to be enough. Quinshon Judkins has been the win indicator. He has 6 rushing TDs in the Browns' 3 wins, but only 1 in the losses he's played. My key factors in this one is, number 1, you already know, Myles Garrett versus the Titans' protection and how early he can change the game. Number 2, whether Ward can survive consistent pressure without catastrophic mistakes. And number 3, Cleveland's ability to win an ugly, low-scoring script. My takeaway in this one feels simple. Cleveland's defense is the best unit on the field by a mile. My pick here, the Browns. We shift to Everbank Stadium in Jacksonville for a division-defining showdown. We got the 8-4 Indianapolis Colts taking on the 8-4 Jacksonville Jaguars. You know, the AFC South has tightened up into a 3-horse race, and this one is massive. The winner gets sole possession of first place, but Indy is battling more than just the standings. They're fighting history. The Colts haven't won in Jacksonville since 2014, a brutal streak that has survived good teams, bad teams, and 8 different starting quarterbacks. The main chess match is elite on elite. Jonathan Taylor versus the top-ranked run defense, allowing 82.4 rushing yards per game. Taylor has shredded the Jags in Indy, 546 yards and 4 rushing touchdowns in 3 games. But in Jacksonville, he's been held to 172 yards with no touchdowns across 4 games. Quarterback volatility adds another level here. Daniel Jones is playing with a fractured fibula and has 7 giveaways in the last 4 games. Trevor Lawrence on the other side owns an 81.6 passer rating and sits bottom 10 in multiple efficiency category. This might come down to who blinks first. My keys in this one is, number 1, can the Jags bottle up Taylor and force Jones into high-risk throws? Number 2, which quarterback protects the ball in a division pressure game? And number 3, can Jacksonville's recent offensive surge, 29.2 points per game since the Week 8 bye, keep rolling? My takeaway, the Colts do not win in Jacksonville until proven otherwise. My pick here, Jaguars. We're at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis with the Washington Commanders at 3-9 or taking on the Minnesota Vikings at 4-8. This game is about who can survive chaos. Minnesota is a blitz machine. The Vikings have blitzed on 58% of opposing dropbacks. Linebacker Eric Wilson's 23.5 pressure rate leads all players with at least 100 quarterback rushes. But Washington's offensive line is trending up. They just held Denver's elite pass rush to just 2 sacks, and over the last 3 games, they've allowed only 5 total. Meanwhile, Marcus Mariota did a good job filling in for Jaden Daniels. He has been quietly steady, 4 straight starts with 200-plus passing yards and a passing touchdown. Now we get Jaden Daniels back for the Commanders. Now this gives them more of an edge. My key factors in this one is, number 1, Washington's improved pass protection versus Minnesota's pressure identity. Number 2, Minnesota's offensive uncertainty with J.J. McCarthy returning. And number 3, whether Washington's steadier QB play wins the late moments. My takeaway, I'm taking the points in a team that looks more functional lately. My pick here is the Commanders. Now we're at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey for the Miami Dolphins at 5-7, taking on the New York Jets at 3-9. Both teams are fighting through a rough season, but this matchup lands right on the fault lines of what each side can't fix. Miami's pushing the pace through Devon Achane, who's on track for a career-high workload again. The Dolphins have leaned into physicality, and that's important against the Jets' front that ranks 25th in run defense. The chaos factor is turnovers, and the stats are absurd. The Jets have only 2 takeaways, the fewest through 12 games in NFL history. They're also the only defense without an interception this season. And for Miami, they've committed 18 giveaways, including 14 interceptions by Tua. And then there's the cold weather angle. Miami has lost 7 straight games in sub 45-degree kickoffs. My keys in this one are, number 1, Achane and the Dolphins' run identity versus vulnerable Jets' run defense. Number 2, whether Tua can avoid the one thing that could flip this game, those interceptions. And number 3, the Jets' inability to capitalize on mistakes if that drought continues. My takeaway, Miami's ground game gives them the cleanest route to control this one. My pick here, Dolphins. We're at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa for the New Orleans Saints at 2-10, taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 7-5. Tampa's in the business part of the season, and this is the kind of divisional game contenders have to bank. Chris Olave is a volume monster with 115 targets, third most in the NFL. Devon Vele is coming off a breakout with 8 catches for 93 yards and a touchdown. But New Orleans is still trying to find stable answers weekly, especially if Alvin Kamara remains limited. On Tampa's side, the story is urgency and timing. They've taken hits, and they're still in the fight with the Panthers. But they're getting healthier and starting at a schedule that includes multiple sub-500 teams. My key factors in this one are, number 1, Tampa's pressure schemes versus a Saints offense trying to stabilize. Number 2, whether the Bucs build an early lead and force Saints out of rhythm. And number 3, Olave's ability to carry enough of the passing load to keep this tight. My takeaway, Tampa's in a stack wins now mode, and that fits the script for this one. My pick here, Buccaneers. We're in Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park for the Bengals at 4-8, taking on the Buffalo Bills at 8-4. This game is way more dangerous than the record suggests because Cincinnati's season has a new headline. Joe Burrow is back, and the Bengals are 3-0 with him under center in 2025. The return has breathed life into a team that looked cooked a few weeks ago. The problem is still very real on defense, though. The Bengals rank last in both yards at 410 yards allowed per game and also points allowed per game at 31.2. So asking them to contain Buffalo for 4 quarters is a big request. On the flip side, Buffalo's offense have been flirting with danger lately too. Josh Allen has thrown an interception in 4 straight games, and the Bills can't keep relying on survival mode football. Cincinnati does bring a reliable engine with Chase Brown, who has a franchise record 6 straight games with 100-plus scrimmage yards. My keys in this one are, number 1, can Cincinnati sustain drives long enough to protect this defense? Number 2, can Buffalo stop giving teams extra possessions? And number 3, who wins red zone efficiency in a likely close flow? My takeaway, Burrow makes it competitive, but Allen at home against this defense, still the edge. My pick here, Buffalo Bills. We're in Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas for the Denver Broncos at 10-2. Taking on the Las Vegas Raiders at 2-10. Denver's defense is chasing legacy with 1 sack in this game. They hit 52, matching the entire 2015 Broncos regular season sack total. And they're on pace to tie the season single record at 72. This unit is loaded with havoc creators, and the matchup lines up in their favor. Vegas has struggled to keep quarterbacks clean all season. They've allowed 46 sacks, and Geno Smith's 30.8 total QBR ranks first out of 31 qualifying passers. The Raiders' only real weekly spark is Brock Bowers, but with Patrick Surtain back, that matchup tightens up fast. Denver doesn't always win pretty. They've had 8 one-score wins, but they've been consistent in late-game execution. The Raiders haven't shown enough stability to trust them when the pressure raises. My keys in this one is, number 1, Denver's pass rush versus the Raiders' line that can't hold up. Number 2, the Bowers can produce enough to keep this competitive. And number 3, Denver's ability to avoid the division weirdness trap after a 10-7 ugly win back in Week 10 versus the Raiders. My takeaway, the defensive matchup is too big to ignore here. My pick here, Denver Broncos. Now we're in Lambeau Field. This one's a big one, y'all. Chicago Bears at 9-3, taking on the Green Bay Packers at 8-3-1. NFC North divisional game here. This is strength on strength brawl. Chicago's winning with physical control and opportunistic defense. The Bears have forced a wild 26 turnovers. Green Bay, on the other side, they've committed just 7 giveaways, best in the league. Ben Johnson's identity is clear for the Bears. The Bears are winning games in spite of the passing game, and that's fine because the run game has been a hammer. Green Bay's interior is the story here. They lost defensive tackle Devontae Wyatt for the season after trading Kenny Clark. Their inside is thin, a dangerous place to be against Chicago's rushing identity, and Caleb's growth is real. He's been sacked only 19 times this season after 68 last year. My keys in this one are, number 1, the Bears' run game versus a compromised Packers interior front. Number 2, the turnover battle and a rivalry that's likely tight late. And number 3, Caleb's poise in the cold when the moment gets heavy. My takeaway, Chicago's formula travels if they can stay clean. My pick here, the Bears. We're at State Farm Stadium in Glensdale, Arizona. Got the LA Rams at 9-3. In town to take on the Arizona Cardinals at 3-9. NFC West divisional game here. Arizona has been scrappy, but the stat that matters is brutal. They're 0-8 against teams with winning records. The Rams are built for these spots. Balanced offense, strong defense, and a team that can snap back after a surprise stumble. Kyren Williams is also closing in on a big milestone. He's 132 rushing yards away from becoming the first Rams back with 3 straight 1,000-yard rushing seasons since Steven Jackson. Arizona's fourth down inefficiency could be a problem too. They're 30th in conversion rate at 38.9%, while the Rams are mid-pack in stopping those plays. My keys to this one are, number 1, the Rams bounce back urgency after last week's surprise loss. Number 2, Arizona's ability to extend drives on fourth down. And number 3, whether LA can control the second half with Kyren. My takeaway, Arizona may make this annoying early, but the Rams should close. My pick here, the Rams. Next up, we closing out Sunday Night Football at Arrowhead Stadium. Got the Houston Texans at 7-5, taking on the Kansas City Chiefs at 6-6. This is a big one. Playoff implications all around this. Must win for both teams. This one is tone-setting football. Houston's defense has been the story of the league, leading in points and yards allowed. And they're riding a 4-game win streak in the real belief that they can punch up against anybody. But the environment is a real test. It's expected to be sub 30 degrees. And under DeMeco Ryans, the Texans are 0-2 at Arrowhead, with both games playing in sub 40-degree weather. So this is a statement spot in the toughest setting. Kansas City is desperate, but still dangerous. But they need pass rush life here. They haven't recorded a sack in the past 11 quarters. And that's not the version of the Chiefs we're used to seeing in December. And history leans Chiefs. Mahomes is 5-1 against Houston, unbeaten since 2019. My key factors in this one is, number 1, Houston's front versus a Chiefs line that can be stressed by elite pressure. Number 2, Kansas City's pass rush awakening or lack of it. And number 3, weather and game tempo. Who can play clean football in the cold? My takeaway, Houston defense gives them a real shot to take this spotlight game. This one's hurt for me because Kansas City was my Super Bowl pick, but I got to roll with the hotter defense. I'm looking at that Kansas City line. I just don't see it. Prove me wrong, KC, but my pick here is the Texans. All right, we closing out Week 14, Monday Night Football. We're at SoFi Field in Inglewood, California. Got the Philadelphia Eagles coming in at 8-4, taking on the LA Chargers at 8-4. Now, this game feels like a survival test for both rosters. Philly's run defense just got hit hard, giving up 281 rushing yards to the Bears. And now they're missing Jalen Carter, who's week to week after a shoulder procedure. That's a huge piece of the engine for that defense. But the Chargers have a bigger structural issue here. Justin Herbert's coming off surgery to repair the fractured left hand. That's his non-throwing hand. And he's planning to play behind an offensive line that has allowed 196 pressures, 97 quarterback hits, and 38 sacks. That's a dangerous cocktail. The Eagles have also allowed 898 total yards over the last 2 games. They're second most in the 2-game span under Sirianni. So this isn't a who's perfect game. This is a who survives the mess game right now for me. My key factors in this one are, number 1, Chargers protection versus Philly's ability to create chaos without Carter. Number 2, Herbert's effectiveness post-surgery under heavy pressure. And number 3, which offense finds a steady second-half rhythm? My takeaway, the Chargers' injury and protection mountain feels too steep. My pick here, and I know it's going to be a lot of them in LA, Eagles fans, my pick, Eagles. All right, now that's the Week 14 slate. Let's recap these picks. Seahawks over Falcons, Ravens over Steelers, Browns over Titans, Jaguars over Colts, Commanders over Vikings, Dolphins over Jets, Buccaneers over Saints, Bills over Bengals, Broncos over Raiders, Bears over Packers, Rams over Cardinals, Texans over Chiefs, and Monday night, Eagles over Chargers. We're sitting at 135, 58-1 on the season, still cooking, still consistent, and we're not hiding from the misses. We're stacking receipts all year. If you rock with the energy, the breakdowns, and the real football talk, tap in with me on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook under at Game Time with Hubb. This has been Game Time with Hubb. I'll catch y'all next time. We out.
Thanks for checking out this episode of Game Time with Hubb. Make sure you like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so that you never miss Game Time action. See you next time.